When it comes to climate change, we may think of many uncertainties. Exactly how much rain can we expect to fall in a certain place at a certain time? What should we do to mitigate and adapt to climate change? How should we treat life and resources on Earth? What regulations are in place to mitigate climate change? A lot of questions, a lot of uncertainties, indeed. My name is Fiona van Schaik. I recently completed a PhD at the University of Stavanger in Norway. And the question that formed the starting point for my thesis was: how should we engage with uncertainty in climate change education? In other words, how to talk with children and students about climate change. In my thesis, I focused on the potential of games in this context. Games can have different meanings across different contexts, and they can be understood as more or less realistic models of reality. In addition, uncertainty has long been regarded as an important element in games. What is next? Who will win? What is the best strategy? What should I do now? This is what makes them interesting in the context of my study. Building on these ideas, my thesis draws from 3 empirical studies. In each of these, a content analysis was conducted, but the content of interest varied. Uncertainties in games, uncertainties in the talk of lower secondary school students while playing games, so during the games, and uncertainties in the discussions of pre-service teachers about games. I identified an abundance of uncertainties in each of the 3 different games in the first study. The second study shows that lower secondary school students also talked a lot about uncertainties while playing both a board game and a digital game, and that these uncertainties were mostly expressed when trying to understand the rules and the representations in the games. When explicitly asked about uncertainty in 2 climate change board games, pre-service teachers identified various uncertainties. They also discussed mentioned uncertainties when comparing games and reality. Overall, the thesis indicates that games have potential to contribute to education about climate change-related uncertainties, as they can be identified in games and dialogues, and possibly especially when educators draw attention to these uncertainties with complementary educational activities. Considering the urgency of the issue of climate change and the many uncertainties and complexities involved in the issue, there is a need to discuss whether, what, and how uncertainty should be addressed in educational settings. With this thesis, I hope to have provided a starting point for future research and inspired educators to reflect on this important topic. Here you can find some more information about my thesis. My thesis is called Playing Wicked Games: Climate Change Related Uncertainty in Games and Education. I defended my thesis at the University of Stavanger on the 11th of October 2024, having been supervised by Frode Skarstein and Atle Skaftun, both employed at the University of Stavanger in Norway. Here you can find the references to both my thesis and articles that were part of this thesis. Thank you very much for listening.